Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's Weedle, your World of Tanks YouTuber with the best hair, and I have Tundra for you today in the 430U. Do a quick recap of what I think about this map. It is a very fun brawling map. Um, the prime real estate is this hill up here. Main reason is there's sniping positions from either side, of course, that you can cover roughly, I'd say about 3/4 of the map, to be honest. So it is a position that your team is going to have to fight for. I would say 95% of the games are won on this hill, one way or the other. So that's where I'm going in this battle. Let's talk about reasons I might go to the right. Um, One, hold down heavy. That would be one reason. You do need a little bit of gun height on your tank, at a minimum of an IS-7. So the 277 really struggles over here. There's in the center areas where I get, and in this little corridor, there's kind of an outcropping that you can hold down behind, and that's the position that I like to get to and fight at. But I'm looking at something like a IS-7 Object 260 Super Conch. M4 can do it as well. But there also has to be an enemy HP pool that I think is going over there. In this game, I would have probably thought maybe a Type 5 heavy and a mouse would be about it. Um, that's probably not enough tanks over there for me to want to go fight. Generally, when I go to the right, I want at least a minimum of 4 to 5 tanks that I think will be over there. So I'm going hill. I've said this in other videos. I try to go where the enemy HP pool, and most of the time, the enemy HP pool is over here. So that's where I'll be going. Let's see how I can make this work. So I'm not a fast medium, which means I'm probably not going to make it up on top of that hill. Uh, so I am going to be at a small disadvantage. A little bit of gun depression obviously helps over here if you can't get up the hill. Um, but I want to show you a little trick uh, that I used in this match to allow me to brawl out with some of these heavy tanks just using the terrain. Uh, Pretty exciting game. Um, they have a platoon of VZ-55s. I was kind of wondering, and it looked like they had a mixture on this in this map the way they played, if they were using the two-shot gun or the single-shot gun. Uh, Real quick, this position right here, I like to rush up, and if I'm not going to make it up the hill, I like to get to this angle to shoot their tanks going up the hill. Obviously, I'd like to support my Manticore if possible. Having him up there is a pretty good deal, and this is kind of why I didn't go up the hill. If you noticed, the TVP was already going up there. The Leo was set up right here, and the VZ-55 was just about cresting this hill when I was in this position. So had I went ahead and tried to make it, that would have been a lot of damage. And those were just the tanks I saw. There could have been another tank poke up by the time I got here, and that would have been really bad. Now, 430U not known for gun handling, but with a vertical stabilizer, it's really not that bad, especially at this range. It's not a sniping medium, that's for sure. Definitely pure brawler, but with 340 heat rounds, really allows you to cut through heavy armor. Now, another thing this tank does have is excellent alpha with 440 alpha, good DPM with I think just over 3,200 with the setup I have. I'm running, of course, food and a bounty rammer. Another trick to this tank, the equipment-wise, is I highly recommend putting a experimental survivability on it. The reason being is it increases the internal module durability, and this thing loves being set on fire. Right there. So let's talk about this terrain right here. So what I'm doing is if I try to just get into this location right here, my tank actually sits at an angle like this, so I can't de-elevate my gun enough to shoot this VZ-55. So what I'm doing is I'm running my tank along this ridge just enough that I can flatten out the tank, and that positioning there allows me to actually be able to shoot his cupola while remaining hold down. So I end up being, you see me kind of just working up on the side there, and I can just get enough to shoot his cupola and be extremely obnoxious. He does a good job right there, paying me back. As you can see right there through the cupola. The cupolas on this thing can be pinned, obviously, but they are a little bit trolly, just like the rest of the armor on the tank. Now, I have a second VZ55 who's decided he wants to play. Uh, so I will oblige him. Just keep working right here. I know if they poke up, I can kind of get their cupola shots. There's one, not quite able to get that one in. And you can see this making the DPM work. Another good shot by their VZ55. I'm up 2100 damage right now. Still working in shots. Couldn't quite get that one in. The Type 5 is getting aggressive as well. So one thing that allows me to stay here, and this is so important, this 277, had he just booked it out, I would have had to have left this position because these heavy tanks would have just pushed down in on me. Um, Unfortunately, like our Udez didn't come over here. Got left really, really light on this flank. So right now, as long as he's here, I'm able to, you know, play this position. Um, but definitely we benefited from them just not rolling through on us. Now, one thing to understand about most players in World of Tanks, they're not hyper aggressive most of the time. In fact, being the more aggressive player will cause people to kind of stall out a lot of times. It's just little mind games with them. Oh, there's Type 5 getting a little bit aggressive. I'm really not sure what I pinned there, to be honest. But I'm not going to complain about it. There's the trolley viewport on this. That was his second shot. Wasn't able to land the cupola shot that time. Let's do some work on this Type 5 to kind of help my 277. And you see just nice alpha, 423 there. Sometimes this thing can roll for over 500. 454. And when you're throwing these rounds out so quickly, it's surprising how fast you can rack in damage on this thing. And not sure what got the probably it looks like the I don't know what got the VZ55 there. Was that the Artie? No, it wasn't the Artie. I really don't know what got him there. Um, just looking back, what did get him? I don't know. I have to pull that back later and see if I can't figure that one out. That was interesting. Put another shot in. Look at that, 465. This thing is, I think, gets underestimated by the community a lot. I hear players talk about all the time how this is not a good tank. But let me ask you, name me one medium you would have preferred to take to this location and brawl two VZ55s and a Type 5 heavy in. I don't think there is one. I think as far as a medium tank goes, this thing is cream of the crop as far as brawling it out with heavies. Now that might be because it's sort of a heavy disguised as a medium. So here I can be clipped out by this VZ55. I feel confident now. Oh, can I get a shot in? No. Nope, I did. And he bounced. So now it's time to race up on this hill. Now this is the downside of the 430U. And part of the reason I didn't come up the hill the first time, it just doesn't have the engine power to get up this hill effectively. However, I think I can get here before he's reloaded. And unfortunately a low roll. But he's distracted by the Manti. There we go. 5,200 damage in just 5 minutes. Not quite able to get into position to finish off the Artie, unfortunately. But yeah, that's it for the match here. This is a fun match. I like this map. I like the brawling, the close quarter brawling that it puts me in. But this position, I would say 95% of matches on this map are won on this hill. There's some plays you can make. You know, you can come around, swing around this area, come up right here, and shoot tanks right here. and that works really well. But the issue is you can't really do that if they have control of this hill. So like once you get tanks up here, it opens up a lot of the rest of the map. You can't really just be moving around in these areas when there are snipers up here, enemy team snipers. But once your team controls this, like you control 3/4 of the map by just having tanks on this hill. Um, and that's why it's so important. You have to win this hill in this match. Um, and also, it's where the enemy HP pool goes most of the time. So this is the prime real estate. This is the place to go brawl in. This is the place to have consistently high damage games. Um, I, if you're trying to push through here, they can shoot you from this sniper nest. It's um, yeah. Just I'll say it one last time. You need to be fighting for this hill. That's it for the video. If you liked it, please subscribe, and um, and I'll see you on some matches. Hopefully, thank you.